Hello and welcome all to Tales from the Time Traveler's Tavern. I will be your guide and navigator, Mr.E, taking you on this informative journey. Informative of what? We still don't know. But that's why I have had the good fortune to bring along with me the colorful commentary of our internet guru, my good friend Toast.
Butter is optional.
There you go. And to the other side, we have Private SNAFU.
Good day, Mr.E. Good day, Toast.
Alright, now we're going to go down a traveling line of science fiction or science fiction and all that kind of good stuff.
Lead, copper, and gold are incredibly different.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought that copper and gold were similar in their conductivity.
Gold is a much better conductor than copper.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I suppose it. Well, what about alchemized copper?
Alchemy isn't real.
What they did to copper when they were trying to do alchemy effectively was remove a lot of the impurity. What I'm saying in that regard, to make it resemble gold.
Oh, I see, but that's just purification.
Okay.
See, the difference between purification of copper and actually making it into gold is entirely different.
Fair enough. All right. So we all have the capacity to produce. I hate the way this is phrased. We all have the capacity to produce valid facts/opinions.
Okay.
And produce alternative facts.
Yeah. I figured you were going to go there immediately. Those are alternative facts. Yeah. Alternative. Yes, because the alternative is to listen to him.
Uh-huh.
Hey, just remember, you actually have to obey his orders. Mr. SNAFU.
It's like being married. It'll make no sense, but you still have to just bend and grear it.
Bend and grear it.
Really?
That's what he said.
Yeah, that makes me go.
It's a new show on Fox. It's like 2.5 Men, but literally they sew all 2.5 of them together.
And then they take turns screwing you.
No. Then Ender Garrett sits there and goes, "Boys!
I'm not following. What's so funny about this?
I don't know.
This is like Centipede Man turned into like comedy.
Centipede, the Ice Skate musical.
Now, being the youngest one in the group, much like most of the people who listen to podcasts, Edna Garrett was a character on The Facts of Life who ran a all-girls school of various of poor to rich kids, since Blair and Tootie being extremes on the spectrum.
Oh, that's right. You're making late 70s, early 80s television references.
It's not like, David Hasselhoff playing Atari and Knight Rider.
Do not hassle the Hoff 9000.
It's not like David Hasselhoff doing a movie a couple of years ago. You ever see that one?
Was this SpongeBob?
Kung Fury is the one I was talking about.
No, I missed it.
You can find it online.
Okay.
You can find it on YouTube if you look it up.
I love that both you and I instinct
The Kung Fuhrer, people. The Kung Fuhrer.
Oh, but hang on. What is the... Oh, hang on. I gotta look this up before I even say it because I'm gonna get it wrong.
Okay, well, while you're doing that...
So you guys are telling me internet's not just for porn?
No, there's also cat videos.
I was gonna say, that's what Avenue Q would have you believe.
Ah, yes, Trekkie Monster. Any of you who are of age, feel free to look up Avenue Q. I laughed my behind off listening to it.
And if you are not of age, we do not condone you looking up Avenue Q online. Not at all.
Use Safe
Just
Search.
don't do it. Use Safe Search until you figure out to switch it off. We're terrible influences, but damn, we're fun.
But speaking
You know what's nice? What's nice about Safe Search, though, is that they tell you not to use Safe Search worthy searches while you're at work.
No, what they're saying is don't use searches that would get blocked by Safe Search. I think.
No, speaking as a former parent. Safe Search is funny because there are such sites on this that are not blocked because they have virtually the same name as Disney sites.
I say or like whitehouse.com versus whitehouse.org versus whitehouse.gov.
Right.
Yep.
Or something to do with furry hamsters.
Oh, good God, I don't even want to know.
I want to know how you know that.
Yeah, hey?
Well,
I have a hamster at home. I don't want to hear anything to do...
No, I'm not talking about the hamster. I'm talking about the name.
Okay.
I don't want to give them a free plug. They'll send you the check later.
I doubt it.
Depends whether Disney's the one that's upset or the other one.
I say, if it's the other one, they'll send you a free plug right back.
Of a different kind entirely.
Okay, Dirty Shame.
Ew.
What?
Dirty Shame. A Dirty Shame with Johnny Knoxville, where David Hasselhoff is the one who helps them create a new sex act by having a piece of dung fall out of a plane. Yes. Oh my god.
What?
I
don't.
You know, it's one of those where the safe search part of your brain immediately goes, no, don't look that up. But then the other part of your brain goes, I'm a little curious.
Come on, Johnny Knoxville's in it. Oh my goodness, where The Simpsons started, that chick.
You know, if
Tracy Ullman?
Yes, she's on it and everything. It is,
If ISIS ever puts me in a beheading video, I want my last words to be, "Hello, I am Johnny Knoxville, and welcome to Jackass."
Oh my god.
And then they chop my head off with a rusty knife.
Oh my god. Yeah, the problem here is that they would
So you're
slowly
writing
saw
this
your
into
head
your
off.
wills on your bucket list for your career?
Hey, why not? I originally told people that if I ever died of some sort of fatal disease that was incurable or something like that my friends were to take my body, dress it in a Superman suit, and throw it out of an airplane over the Super Bowl halftime show. No note, no nothing.
I really need to read this stuff through because I was going to dress him as a plane and
Because it
throw
is
at this man at Super Bowl.
Because it was my firm belief that life should end in a question mark rather than a period.
I'd seen another one where someone's like, when I die at my funeral, I want them to play very slow and very somber.
Oh, God, I know
Pop goes
this
the
one.
weasel.
And then videotape all of the horrified expressions waiting in rapt anticipation.
Now, I have to get scientific on you here. You say you don't life ending with a period, but all life begins with lack of a period.
Somehow I knew he was going to go with that.
yeah. The period that comes after that sucks, too. Oh my gosh. No.
Would that be more
Nobody
of an
wants to know.
exclamation point?
Don't start.
I can't help it. It's not my fault. I have no control over this.
Well, I would imagine you have a little bit of control. That's
No.
why they make birth control.
Kinda, yeah. If you go that route, maybe.
Well, you don't want to use the rhythm method. That don't work.
Did you ever go to the Mud Show at the Renaissance Fair?
I have not.
That's one of their jokes.
What?
They make, I'm trying to remember what it was, 'cause it's like they like try to get everyone clapping and stomping their feet. Like, okay, take everyone, you have to have rhythm. The other one shouts, yeah, but that's why there's so many young kids over there. They don't have any.
Speaking of that, I believe that's either your uncle or possibly your long-lost father.
He swears he looks like you. I'm like, I don't see that. But you guys have the comedy together, though, when you guys get rolling. I have to agree.
Those guys doing the Mud Show have been doing it so many years. It's the same routine.
Right. It seldom, if ever, changes much.
As many times I've been to the Renaissance Fair out in Arizona, they don't have a mud show.
I still like,
They also don't have water. It's the desert.
I still like when I went to...
It's like living in a convection oven. I'm sorry.
Not the last time I went to the Ren Fair, but the time before it. I was trying to find something to do, kill a little bit of time. I stopped by a booth called Vegetable Justice.
And he smashed the clock.
No. So I get there, and they had just changed the person, because what it is you throw tomatoes at someone, and someone behind a wall where they had just their head and their hand sticking out. So not quite like stocks, but kind of.
Yeah.
What was the other one? What was the other one called?
What, pillory?
That's it, pillory.
Yeah, but it's not quite like that, but close, because that's the general thought. But the thing is the person behind there was heckling you. Well, the guy that they had, the guy who'd just gotten in there, he looked a little hippie-ish, but he had the acerbic tongue that you need to do it properly. I mean, he was just ripping on everybody, and he was funny. I mean, he was just going on. And if there was no one coming up, he would just start randomly talking to everybody out there. He would make comments about people from just, like a ways away about what they're wearing, about how they look. And he actually, at one point in time, there's like some little kid coming up, and they bring him a little closer. He's like, oh, do your parents know you're here? They throw the tomatoes, like, oh, do your parents know that you can't throw? Through his kid. Oh, just going on. This, the stuff the guy was saying, I was there like 2 hours.
Just watching him.
Just for that. And then they had to go and change him out, and the guy who followed him had no timing. He was just awful. I mean, he wasn't like bad, but comparatively, he was awful. But having gone there, like I said, I was listening to the guy, and there are some people who can do that.
Right.
Where they have the wit. Where, like I said, the guy was ripping on everybody, but no one left feeling insulted, even though he spent 2 hours insulting everybody.
Vampantly.
But that was just it. He did it so well that, like I said, he was just going on, and when people would walk away, they're like, whatever. And they were still laughing, even though he had just spent minutes making fun of just them.
Do you think that he came from down south, where, bless your heart.
And no, because I've actually talked to people from down south, Virginia specifically,
Okay.
and them specifically, the two of them, couldn't do that sort of thing because it wasn't them. It's not a region specific, it's a person specific. This guy had a talent for it.
Yes, but but I don't know, down south, that seems to be more, the talent that he has, that you're talking about, seems to be more prevalent in their society. Seems to be more commonly
Ribbing?
outspoken on. Yeah, but not being crudely ribbing, but being bluntly ribbing, but not meanly? I don't know. Like you said, nobody felt assaulted by what the guy said.
But you can also get that in college campuses. Some of them. Because I, at one point in time, visited the fraternity my brother had joined.
Mm-hmm.
And they were poking fun at each other constantly for like the night I was there. Well, I was there for different nights. But yeah, but because they knew each other, it was fine. No one felt like horribly insulted because someone was ribbing them all night. But it's because they felt, I don't want to say secure, but they felt comfortable with each other doing it. This guy was doing this with people he had no connection to, but he had to have an instant connection that that even though he's making fun of your haircut, your pants, the way you throw, that he's just making fun of you because he can, and you can completely ignore him, and people are gonna laugh, and you walk away, and no one's gonna be like, oh, look at that guy. Later on, it's always I remember you from over there. Yeah, okay.
I think maybe the other side of that is because of the fact that people go into that scenario knowing that it's his job to annoy you enough to throw things at him.
But the thing is like I said, they had just changed over to him when I got there.
Right.
I caught like the last two throws of the guy before him, who couldn't do that. He wasn't good. He was okay, but he wasn't good. And the guy who followed him wasn't as good.
He was a good MC. Oh, we can get back to what we were talking about before. When we were talking about
Alice is the type of
when we were talking about Allison Hannigan versus the other host they had. What makes a good MC versus not as good one.
Right. A good MC for a lot of shows needs to be able to go so far as to, I don't say to warm a crowd up, but to be able to keep them entertained, keep them interested,
Right.
and be able to, if it's a comedy type thing, they have to be able to to tell a joke and take a joke.
Right.
And that's just it. Where you get people who are perfectly fine for as an actor, because like I said, some of the people at the Vegetable Justice thing, the guy was probably fine at his other jobs. Because it's not like they only do one thing.
Right.
But he's probably fine at his other jobs, but he just didn't have that particular talent. And that's just it. You get other people who are MCs where they don't have the talent to be as entertaining.
No, you wouldn't necessarily say he was rotten, but the vegetables were, weren't they?
No, they can't be.
They were actually perfectly fine tomatoes.
Yeah.
How did they make him soft enough to not hurt him? They cut him open slightly? I'm just curious.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be they slice one side, or it could be that they actually have someone who actively their job is to put it in a bag and beat it around a couple of times.
No, that'd destroy them.
Yeah.
To be just whale them around. But no, there's a guy. It's not like they just have a tub of tomatoes up there. There's a guy who actually hands you tomatoes.
So he's probably prepped.
Yeah, because I couldn't.
Because there are knives around. I think there was like 2 knives there because sometimes they need 2 people helping, and it's there. Obviously, the knives are under control, so it's not like they're just waving them around. But it really is. He probably is picking them up and just cutting them lightly. Because when people would get close enough to any of the people, they actually would catch them. And the one guy was actually able to, like I said, the really good guy, if he caught one, he would just squeeze, and you could just watch him explode in his hand. Because if you do it quick enough, the other guys, because they'd go slower, it would just kind of ooze. The other guy, he'd grab it, just squeeze, and you'd just get poof! As it just kind of oozed everywhere, and it's almost a cloud, but not really, because it's still liquid. But still.
It would burst like an egg.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But it was also interesting because that time I was semi-stupidly wearing a white overshirt, a short sleeve, but it was a white overshirt, and I'm standing very close to a place with exploding tomatoes.
Yeah.
You came out a little colorful, didn't you?
Nope.
Oh, you did good. Nice job.
Just enough distance.
I actually was maybe 10 feet from the guy.
Then you did get lucky.
There was one person closer, but some of it was because I thought about it, but where I was standing, and I realized that if he catches it and he squeezes it, there is a blast radius.
Right.
I figured out where that was, and I stood behind it.
Just behind it.
Stood
Kind of like figuring out a pressure wave.
Also because by standing there, I don't want to say I was out of the way, but I was far enough back that I could see the guy perfectly fine, because I was actually almost in line with him. But I could also see the entire crowd. So I was watching the crowd, because sometimes the crowd was actually more entertaining than everything else. Because like I said, if there was no one actually coming up, he would just start a thing with anyone in the crowd. He would just keep on going.
Going back to that taking place in a certain environment, though, and interdependent on the connection with the people, I don't know if you've noticed that here specifically, but we do that.
Here, Wisconsin, in here?
No, here is in this room, in
Yeah,
this studio. We do that too, but we do it with each other. And not to the degree of, I'm gonna do this until you cry and go hang yourself.
Right.
That's next week.
I know, like, not paying attention, but I came in at the way wrong time.
That's what she said.
It's called some sort of asphyxiation.
Oh.
Autoerotic,
Okay, then.
I believe. Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Automobile.
Automobile exhaust. I got you here.
Oh, no.
No, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, that ends up in no.
You know, I imagine that that's going to be the new thing for auto mechanics.
Sucking pill types?
Falling in love with cars, having them run off with their owner.
Well, the dish ran away with the spoon, so.
You get the car home, it has the strange impregnated smell. All of a sudden,
That'd be the world's worst air freshener.
all of a sudden you get home, all of a sudden it's pushing out those power wheels the kids are driving. Honey, where'd we get those from?
Roll the windows back up and let the clunk out.
Why does that one have a mullet?
Oh, God, it's like the truck next door, honey. What's going on there?
Let's try and save this.
That could be an industry, though. Like,
Ribbit.
That could be an industry.
yeah, car breeding, just like horse
Car
breeding. Or... oh, yeah, I have a Duramax here that could breed with the Honda Civic. What do we get? I don't know, but it's worth a shot.
You know, the thing about that is that's not far off from how we get cows these days. It's all...
And Mazdas.
the next iteration. The Mazda RX Moo.
Moving on milk power. The way of the future.
Oh! So it's like steam-powered giraffe.
That was Crystal Pepsi.
No, there were...
Crystal meth?
God.
That's what powers inner city economies.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
No,
I am a captain now. What? Pirates, Molly pirates. Have you never seen that? How they're taking the drugs like up before they raided the ship and all that, and they're all like hopped up on something. And...
I personally try to avoid
All right, well, on that note of fact, validation, and verification, any other shuns we should add to that? Powering words, SNAFU?
I don't know.
Hey.
It's above my pay grade.
Okay, and toast?
I can't believe it's not butter.
All right, then. Once again, this has been your navigator and guide, Mr. E. Thank you for joining Tales from the Time Traveler's Tavern. So that's it.